Ladies and gentlemen, imagine a garden full of potential, vibrant seeds waiting to grow. But here's the thing, without water, without sunlight, without care, those seeds remain just that, seeds. The same is true for your mind. If you want success, if you want impact, you must nourish your mind. The first step is purpose. Purpose is the sunlight that drives growth. Ask yourself, why am I doing what I do? Without purpose, knowledge is scattered, efforts are wasted, and growth stalls. But when your actions are rooted in purpose, your mind becomes like fertile soil, ready to absorb everything that feeds it. Next, understand the power of continuous learning. Your mind is not a container. It's a garden that thrives when nurtured. Read widely, explore new experiences, challenge your assumptions. Each new insight you gain is like water nourishing the roots of your thinking. The moment you stop learning, you begin to wither. But learning alone is not enough. You must build habits that support your mental growth. Reflection, journaling, mindful thinking. These aren't just buzzwords. They are tools that shape your mind to respond to challenges, not just react to them. Daily habits compound. Small steps repeated over time create a mindset that is resilient, creative, and ready to succeed. Pay attention to your environment. Your mind doesn't grow in isolation. The people you engage with, the conversations you have, the energy you surround yourself with, they all nourish or drain your mind. Seek those who challenge you, inspire you, and push you to think differently. Your garden will flourish only if it's surrounded by life, not weeds. So, if you want success, start with your mind, feed it purpose, water it with learning, strengthen it with positive habits, and surround it with growth. When you do this, success is not just a possibility. It becomes inevitable. Remember, success is not a destination. It's the natural result of a mind that is nurtured, challenged, and inspired every single day. Purpose is the guiding star that directs every decision, every effort, and every thought in your journey toward success. Without a clearly defined purpose, actions tend to be scattered, energy is wasted, and the mind lacks focus. Purpose is not simply a lofty statement or an abstract idea. It is the reason behind why you choose to wake up each day, why you push through obstacles, and why you invest time in developing yourself. When the mind is anchored in purpose, it creates an internal compass that consistently points toward growth, learning, and achievement. When you have a purpose, your mind begins to see opportunities that others often overlook. Purpose creates clarity. It filters distractions and helps you prioritize what truly matters. A person without purpose may be constantly busy, yet achieve very little because their actions lack alignment with a greater goal. In contrast, a mind fueled by purpose identifies the actions that provide the most impact, optimizes time and energy, and continuously moves toward meaningful progress. Purpose is the difference between motion and momentum. Motion is simply activity, momentum is purposeful, directed, and powerful. Purpose also drives resilience. Life is unpredictable and challenges are inevitable. Without purpose, obstacles can feel insurmountable, setbacks demoralizing, and failures final. But a purposeful mind treats challenges as temporary and as opportunities to learn. When the mind knows why it is pursuing something, it builds intrinsic motivation that sustains effort even under pressure. This motivation is internal. It does not rely solely on external rewards such as recognition, money, or status. Instead, it comes from understanding that your efforts are contributing to something bigger than the immediate situation. This internal compass keeps your mind steady and focused, even when external circumstances are chaotic or discouraging. Purpose also influences the way your mind absorbs knowledge. Learning without a purpose can feel fragmented or superficial. When you know why you are learning something, your mind actively connects new information to existing knowledge, creating a network of understanding that is far more effective and long-lasting. Purpose gives context to learning. It turns facts and skills into meaningful tools that can be applied strategically. In this way, purpose acts as a mental filter, guiding what to focus on and what to set aside. The mind becomes selective, intentional, and more efficient in its cognitive processes. Another critical aspect is that purpose shapes decision making. Every choice we make, from small daily habits to life-altering decisions, is influenced by our understanding of what we value most. A mind grounded in purpose does not react impulsively to trends, pressures, or immediate gratification. Instead, it evaluates options against long-term objectives, ethical standards, and personal vision. This intentionality prevents wasted effort and builds cumulative advantage over time. Purpose turns small, deliberate choices into the foundation for long-term success, whereas aimless decision-making leads to wasted potential and frustration. Purpose also drives creativity and innovation. When a mind has a clear why, it is more likely to seek novel solutions, experiment with ideas, and embrace unconventional approaches. People without purpose may focus on avoiding mistakes or following routines, but a purposeful mind looks for opportunities to improve, adapt, and make meaningful contributions. The clarity that purpose provides allows the mind to take calculated risks and turn challenges into stepping stones. In this way, purpose not only sustains growth, but actively accelerates it. Purpose strengthens emotional intelligence. Knowing your own purpose helps you understand your own values, emotions, and triggers. It also enhances your ability to empathize with others, because you understand the motivations that drive human behavior. A purposeful mind is better equipped to navigate relationships, collaborate effectively, and influence others positively. Emotional intelligence is a key component of success, and purpose acts as the lens through which emotional awareness and social insight become actionable. Purpose cultivates a growth mindset. When the mind is anchored in purpose, failure is not feared but embraced as part of the journey. Challenges are reframed as learning experiences rather than threats. Purpose encourages a perspective where setbacks are temporary and improvement is continuous. This mindset drives sustained effort, fosters adaptability, and strengthens resilience, all of which are critical to long-term success. The human mind is designed to grow, adapt, and evolve, but it requires continuous stimulation. Learning is the fuel that powers mental development, creativity, and resilience. Without consistent learning, the mind becomes stagnant, habits ossify, and perspectives narrow. Continuous learning is not limited to formal education or structured courses. It encompasses every opportunity to acquire knowledge, refine skills, and challenge assumptions. Books, conversations, experiences, failures, and reflections all serve as tools to expand the mind. A mindset committed to learning recognizes that knowledge is infinite, and no single achievement, title, or skill set is ever sufficient. Learning continuously enhances adaptability. In an ever-changing world, new technologies, social dynamics, and market trends emerge constantly. A mind that stops learning struggles to keep pace with these changes. Continuous learning strengthens cognitive flexibility, enabling individuals to approach problems creatively, respond effectively to uncertainty, and pivot when circumstances shift. It allows the mind to anticipate challenges rather than simply react to them. Those who embrace ongoing learning maintain relevance, competence, and confidence in an environment where stagnation often leads to obsolescence. Continuous learning also cultivates curiosity. A curious mind is engaged, observant, and analytical. Curiosity drives deeper inquiry into subjects, uncovers hidden connections, and sparks innovative thinking. People who actively pursue learning are less satisfied with surface-level knowledge. They probe further, ask questions, and challenge assumptions. This curiosity fosters critical thinking, a skill that is indispensable for making informed decisions and solving complex problems. The mind that questions, explores, and experiments is continually nourished, avoiding the complacency that limits growth. Knowledge gained through continuous learning is cumulative. Every new concept, skill, or insight connects to what the mind already knows, creating an intricate web of understanding. This interconnectedness strengthens problem-solving abilities, enhances decision-making, and facilitates the application of knowledge in practical context. Learning is not merely an accumulation of facts. It is the development of cognitive tools that empower the mind to interpret, adapt, and innovate. The more consistently one engages in learning, the more capable the mind becomes of synthesizing information, recognizing patterns, and generating novel solutions. Continuous learning encourages humility. Recognizing the breadth of what one does not know fosters openness to new perspectives and feedback. It prevents overconfidence and arrogance, traits that can blind the mind to opportunities for improvement. When learning is viewed as a lifelong journey, failures are reframed as lessons, mistakes are welcomed as feedback, and growth is seen as an ongoing process rather than a destination. This humility supports resilience, adaptability, and collaboration, all of which are essential for sustainable success. In addition, continuous learning strengthens self-discipline and consistency. Acquiring new knowledge and skills requires regular effort, focus, and commitment. The practice of learning trains the mind to persevere through challenges, maintain concentration, and embrace structured routines. Daily habits such as reading, reflective thinking, or skill practice compound over time, resulting in substantial growth. A mind disciplined in learning is more prepared for challenges, better equipped to seize opportunities, and increasingly confident in its capabilities. Continuous learning also enhances emotional intelligence. By exposing oneself to diverse perspectives, cultures, and experiences, the mind develops empathy and social awareness. Learning about human behavior, communication, and psychology improves interpersonal relationships, collaboration, and leadership abilities. The mind that actively seeks knowledge about the external world is simultaneously refining its understanding of itself, creating a balance between cognitive and emotional growth. Continuous learning fuels innovation and creativity. Knowledge alone is insufficient. It is the application and recombination of ideas that generate breakthroughs. A mind consistently exposed to new concepts, skills, and experiences is more capable of connecting seemingly unrelated ideas in original ways. Continuous learning breaks the mental patterns of routine thinking, encourages experimentation, and fosters a mindset willing to embrace calculated risks. Innovation emerges naturally when the mind is nourished by a steady stream of new inputs and inspired to explore their possibilities. Continuous learning is therefore non-negotiable for those who aspire to long-term success. It shapes adaptability, curiosity, humility, resilience, emotional intelligence, creativity, and problem-solving ability. The mind that refuses to stagnate, that seeks knowledge in all its forms, and that applies learning consistently is primed to achieve not just personal growth, but meaningful impact in the world. Continuous learning is a mindset, a habit, and a principle that transforms potential into results and ideas into achievements. Habits are the architecture of the mind. Each repeated action, thought, or behavior builds neural pathways that either strengthen or weaken particular patterns of thinking. Positive habits act as scaffolding for mental growth, shaping the way we respond to challenges, opportunities, and everyday situations. A single habit may seem small, even insignificant, but its cumulative effect over time is profound. The mind becomes conditioned to approach problems with clarity, maintain focus under pressure, and cultivate resilience in the face of adversity. Conversely, negative habits limit potential, reinforce unproductive thought patterns, and erode confidence. Consistency is the cornerstone of habit formation. A habit is effective not because of its intensity in isolated instances, but because it is repeated reliably over time. Daily practices, even if brief, create lasting changes in mindset. For example, setting aside 15 minutes a day for reflective thinking or journaling encourages self-awareness. Over months and years, This practice enhances emotional intelligence, problem-solving skills, and decision-making capabilities. Positive habits are cumulative. Their impact is magnified as small, intentional actions compound into significant mental transformation. Mindful thinking is a key habit that shapes mindset. When the mind is trained to observe thoughts without judgment, it gains control over emotional responses and improves cognitive clarity. This practice allows individuals to recognize unproductive patterns, redirect attention toward constructive solutions, and reduce stress. By making mindfulness a regular habit, the mind develops the capacity to remain focused on priorities rather than being hijacked by distractions, impulsive reactions, or negative self-talk. The resulting clarity enhances both personal effectiveness and interpersonal relationships. Habits also reinforce discipline and self-regulation. A mind accustomed to structured routines, such as goal setting, time management, or deliberate skill practice, is less likely to succumb to procrastination or indecision. Discipline is not a fixed trait. It is cultivated through repeated actions that require commitment and perseverance. Positive habits train the mind to act even when motivation is low, creating momentum that carries through challenges. This form of mental conditioning strengthens resilience, enabling individuals to sustain effort toward long-term objectives without relying on external pressure or immediate rewards. Reflection and journaling are particularly powerful habits that shape mindset. By regularly examining thoughts, emotions, and behaviors, the mind gains insight into its strengths, weaknesses, and blind spots. This awareness enables intentional change and continuous improvement. Reflection transforms experience into wisdom, turning challenges into lessons and failures into actionable insights. Over time, the habit of self-reflection fosters a growth-oriented mindset that views obstacles as opportunities and setbacks as temporary rather than permanent. Habits also influence perception and attitude. Simple practices such as expressing gratitude, setting daily intentions, or affirming goals rewire the mind to focus on possibilities rather than limitations. These habits cultivate optimism, enhance motivation, and reduce the mental burden of negative thinking. The mind trained through positive routines naturally adopts a proactive stance, seeking solutions instead of dwelling on problems. Positive habits, therefore, not only shape behavior but also reconfigure mental frameworks, enabling more adaptive and constructive responses to life's challenges. Learning and curiosity can themselves be nurtured as habits. Making it routine to read, ask questions, or explore new experiences keeps the mind active and engaged. This habit of lifelong learning enhances creativity and problem solving, allowing individuals to see connections where others see obstacles. When curiosity is habitual, the mind approaches every situation as a learning opportunity, turning even failures and setbacks into valuable lessons that contribute to long-term growth. Physical and mental routines are interconnected. Habits such as regular exercise, adequate sleep, and balanced nutrition directly affect cognitive performance and emotional regulation. The mind operates optimally when the body is well maintained, and consistent health-oriented habits reinforce mental clarity, focus, and emotional resilience. Positive physical routines, therefore, are integral components of habits that shape mindset. Accountability is another dimension of habit formation. Sharing goals, tracking progress, or involving mentors strengthens commitment and ensures consistency. The habit of reviewing and adjusting behavior based on feedback fosters adaptability and self-correction. The mind trained to reflect, adjust, and persist develops the flexibility necessary to navigate complex challenges while maintaining focus on long-term objectives. Positive habits compound to create identity. The repeated actions a person takes shape not only what they do, but also who they believe themselves to be. A mindset shaped by habits of learning, reflection, mindfulness, and discipline aligns behavior with values, fostering confidence, purpose, and resilience. Over time, the mind internalizes these habits, and they become second nature, guiding decisions, responses, and strategies automatically. In this way, positive habits do not just influence the mind temporarily, they fundamentally transform it, creating a mindset primed for success, growth, and sustained achievement. The environment in which the mind operates plays a critical role in shaping thoughts, behaviors, and ultimately, success. Humans are inherently social beings, and the people, spaces, and culture around us directly influence our mental patterns. Positive environments stimulate creativity, reinforce growth-oriented thinking, and provide support during challenges, while negative environments can drain energy, foster self-doubt, and limit potential. Understanding the impact of surroundings and relationships is essential for anyone who seeks to nourish their mind for success. Surrounding oneself with inspiring individuals significantly influences mindset and motivation. The people we interact with regularly shape our beliefs, attitudes, and habits. Those who are ambitious, disciplined, and growth-focused naturally elevate the standards of those around them. Conversely, spending time with individuals who are negative, complacent, or self-limiting can suppress ambition and narrow thinking. A mind exposed to constructive feedback, challenging ideas, and positive role models develops resilience, creativity, and strategic thinking. Relationships act as mirrors, reflecting back strengths to reinforce confidence and weaknesses to guide improvement. Collaboration and peer influence are powerful tools for mental growth. Working alongside people who share complementary skills, knowledge, and perspectives exposes the mind to new ideas, alternative approaches, and innovative solutions. Discussions, debates, and brainstorming sessions stimulate critical thinking and expand cognitive flexibility. The mind in isolation may plateau, but a mind engaged with diverse thinkers continuously adapts and evolves. Peer learning and collaborative problem-solving create an environment where knowledge is not just accumulated individually, but shared and amplified collectively. Mentorship plays a pivotal role in shaping thought patterns and accelerating growth. A mentor provides guidance, experience, and perspective that cannot be easily gained through self-directed learning alone. By observing the decision-making, strategies, and mindset of someone experienced, the mind develops shortcuts for avoiding common pitfalls and recognizes pathways to achievement. Mentors act as both catalysts and stabilizers. They challenge assumptions while also offering encouragement, creating an environment conducive to risk-taking and personal development. Physical spaces also influence cognitive function and creativity. Cluttered, chaotic, or distracting environments can disrupt focus, increase stress, and impede problem-solving. In contrast, organized, thoughtfully designed spaces enhance concentration, foster calmness, and support efficient workflow. The mind is sensitive to its surroundings. Lighting, color, noise, and spatial layout all affect mood and mental clarity. Designing an environment that minimizes distractions, encourages productivity, and reflects values and purpose contributes to sustained mental growth. Culture and societal context further shape mental patterns. Being immersed in a culture that values learning, innovation, and collaboration reinforces growth-oriented behaviors. Societies and communities that celebrate achievement, curiosity, and constructive feedback create external pressure and support that accelerate internal development. Conversely, cultures that discourage questioning, reward conformity, or glorify mediocrity constrain mental expansion. The mind thrives when it is embedded in a culture that encourages risk-taking, continuous improvement, and purposeful action. Emotional support from relationships nurtures resilience. Challenges, failures, and setbacks are inevitable, but a supportive network provides perspective, reassurance, and motivation. Friends, colleagues, and family members who offer encouragement and constructive criticism help the mind recover quickly from disappointment, maintain focus, and continue striving toward goals. Emotional support also fosters self-compassion, reducing the negative impact of stress and increasing the capacity for sustained effort. Networking and exposure to diverse perspectives broaden mental horizons. Interacting with people from different backgrounds, industries, and experiences introduces new ideas, challenges assumptions, and expands problem-solving abilities. Diversity in relationships strengthens cognitive flexibility and innovation, encouraging the mind to approach problems from multiple angles. Exposure to different ways of thinking prevents intellectual stagnation and fosters adaptability in dynamic environments. Digital and informational environments are equally important. The content we consume, books, articles, videos, podcasts, and social media, shapes thought patterns, beliefs, and priorities. Constant exposure to negativity, misinformation, or superficial content can weaken critical thinking and reduce focus, whereas deliberate consumption of educational, inspiring, and thought-provoking content reinforces learning, creativity, and growth. The mind, like any garden, thrives when carefully cultivated and protected from harmful influences. Relationships and environments influence identity and self-perception. The values, habits, and attitudes of those we surround ourselves with subtly become internalized. A mind immersed in positivity, growth, and curiosity naturally adopts similar characteristics. Conversely, prolonged exposure to negativity or stagnation reinforces limiting beliefs and undermines confidence. Choosing environments and relationships intentionally is a form of mental discipline. It ensures that the mind is consistently nourished, challenged, and inspired, rather than weakened or distracted. The influence of environment and relationships is profound because it operates both consciously and unconsciously. Every interaction, every space, and every cultural cue leaves an imprint on thought processes and decision-making. By consciously curating surroundings and associations, the mind is strengthened, focused, and empowered to pursue success with clarity and resilience.